Jeff Fournier, let's bring him in. It's been an absolutely fantastic day at the office. And now, salut, Jeff. Formidable, mon brave. That was just outstanding. Absolutely outstanding. How do you feel right now, mate?
Wow, what a race. What a race.
I don't think that covers it.
I love it. Strategy, you have to push. So many strategy. And yeah, I did a lot of practice. So I'm glad Epic got the results they deserve, because that's only up to them, to Borja and all the works that works with us.
I'm just absolutely blown away. I mean, did you think when that final pit stop happened, did you genuinely think at that point that the race win was on? Or did you just basically want to get into it and see if it was doable?
Well, secretly, yeah, I was hoping, because just before my last pit stop, I was closing on restore. So I was like, okay, you have to pit now just to not lose time with restore, because the other in your back are trying to do one less pit stop. So you have to do your pit stop now and full push for the last stint with super soft. And yeah, I'm glad it works. Well, it's a shame for Risto, because he was doing a brilliant race and he had an incident with yards. So yeah.
But those last 4 or 5 laps, when you realised the only way to get this victory was when you had to really be a bit forceful with the overtakes. You really had to put yourself in a risky situation to make the moves. I mean, did you think that there was ever an opportunity that it was going to slip away?
Well, it's a unique chance for me to go for the win, so I had nothing to lose, and yeah, I had to do this move, whatever happened, and it worked, so I'm glad.
And that was only your 6th Super League race. I mean, that's absolutely incredible. Your team's first in the championship. I mean, what a sensational upset. I mean, what are the team feeling right now? I mean, clearly, you guys coming in as a first-timer team in your first race. I mean, how do you guys, what's the party going to be like? It's going to be mega.
Well, we will see that with Lee Davidson and Rob Mason, but I'm sure, yeah, it will be a nice party. So, yeah, but we still have to practice for second run and show that it wasn't only luck, and we can still be at the front. So we'll do our best for the next race also.
Sensational. I've got nothing left. I'm just stunned. Josh, anything more for the man of the...
Jeffrey Fournier, I have one thing I would like to say to you. In front of these viewers, will you marry me?
Oh, an exclusive right there.
No, seriously, Jeffrey, you have just done sensationally well today. I've been saying for years and years and years that you can be a top flight driver on your day, and you've proven me right. For once in my life, I'm right about something, and it's that Jeffrey Fournier can be a Super League race winner. How do you do it, honestly? And how much of a motivation boost is this going to be for you, Rob Mason, Boya Milan, everyone in the Epic team?
Well, I don't know. Well, this year, after 2 years with Rob Mason, I've been joined by a new teammate, Boya Milan, and yeah, he's a very hard worker in the background. So yeah, having a teammate like him is motivating you every time to go further and be quicker. So yeah.
Wow.
I mean, it's just before this race, I would never have said that they would have done this, but you've gone and done it. You have won in your very first race with Epic Racing, in Epic's very first race, and I just feel like this is going to go down in history as the best victory ever in GPVWC history. Jeffrey Fournier, you legend of a young man. Congratulations on your win.
Thank you. Well, I'm sad that Charles Tyon was arguing a bit about my driving, but yeah, it's racing, so
yeah. Well,
I tell you what, mate. If you could sum up that race in one word, I'm going to take one from your own language. Incroyable. That was just absolutely fantastic. Well done, Jeff Fournier, a winner. Welcome to the big time, baby.
Thank you, boys.
Excellent. Shall we get the man who could just so easily have been that man as well? Let's bring him straight in. Second place, and again, just as sensational a drive. Liam Duval, second position. I mean, it was either one of you that was going to win that one, Liam, but what a sensational drive. Even with second place, you must be delighted.
Yeah, I really am. I honestly didn't even expect to be at like top 5, and at the end, Jeffrey had way better tires, and I knew I wasn't going to keep it, but I kept it until like 2 laps, or one last lap was it. And just great fighting all around with Jarl, with Risto, and especially with Jeffrey at the end, and he's the deserved winner. This was amazing. I can't believe it myself.
Well, Jeff is still here. I mean, have you got anything to say to the man who you just locked horns with for the last 5 laps?
Just congrats, man. You deserve that, and I hope I didn't do anything unfair to you. I tried to keep it as fair as possible, but that was probably the best sim racing moments I've had so far.
Yeah, thank you. Well done to you also.
Yeah,
Terrific
thanks,
stuff. I mean, the team must be absolutely delighted. I mean, you came into this race as a team that were 9th in last year's Constructors' Championship. You know, all the odds are against the team in that situation. When did you feel in that race a win could be on here? Was there a moment when you suddenly thought, I could win this?
Yes, that was during when I passed Risto for, I think it was for first, was it?
It was the first, yeah.
Yeah, and then I thought, I can win this.
So genuinely, up until that point, you had no idea whether it was on or not?
Well, I didn't. I actually settled for 4th because I knew Jeffrey had good tires and he was going to pass me at one point, and he did. And then I knew Jarl, I'm not sure if he's going to pit or not, but I thought he was just too fast. So I settled for 4th at one point. And then I saw Risto, his pace was just going down. And then I started to think maybe just a slight chance that I could do better. And then it happened. So
truly sensational. Yeah. I mean, some of the moves you guys were pulling, and I've struggled to see racing that good in the real thing. And you guys have just put on a sensational show. What's now the target for China? Can you win there? Is that possible now?
I mean, if you look at this race, it's definitely a possibility. And I thought I would have never said that before this race. So, I mean, I just tried to look race per race, and I want to do well. At least a top 5 would be nice.
It's game on now, though, isn't it? It's
definitely.
Right, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
Fantastic. I'm so pleased to so happy for you. So, team, it's a great start to the season. It couldn't have gone any better. Great job, mate.
Thank you very much.
Brilliantly done, Liam. And I guess we've got a nickname for you now, Liam de Brickval.
I like that nickname.
Excellent. Brickval. We're going to do that. I was going to go with a Flying Dutchman but it's far too cliched. The Brickval, I think, works very well. Awesome. Nice work, my friend. Good job.
Thank you.
Right, let's get the third man in on the podium after another cracking fight that could easily have seen him the victor. The Norwegian sensation again playing his hand. Jarl Tyen coming straight into the battle. Jarl, terrific job. I mean, how close can you come to winning your first race in Super League and not quite getting there? But what a fight. You must have really loved doing that.
I have some strong opinions about some of the things that happened, but overall it was a interesting first race of the season, that's for sure.
I guess from your point of view, it must be frustrating when you knew you had a car to beat Risto in a straight fight, and it was very hard. You had to be quite forceful with some of the moves to make them happen. But from your point of view, you know, is that as good as you could have hoped for from that race?
Considering I had rear wing and suspension damage from lap 1, it was always going to be tough. But I was always aiming for a podium until I saw everyone was on the wrong strategy. Going further into the first stint and then ultra soft into the second stint was always going to be the faster strategy. But obviously, when people are incredibly defensive, then it's not always going to be easy to get by cleanly.
So do you think now that, considering the pace is clearly there for this year, the Edge car is really strong from the off, points from this are going to help, obviously, to keep things developing. Do you think that the championship is definitely a possibility for you now? I mean, you know the pace is there with Risto and with Alex. Could you get the job done? It's a long year. Can you win the title?
Well, I feel like people have spent maybe the most time they're ever going to do this season for this track only. From now on, everyone's going to start practicing less and less. So I think if I continue practicing, then there should be a fight for the top for sure.
Fantastic. Josh, have you got anything for Jarl? I'm sure you've got a billion questions.
Oh, yeah. Well, obviously, certain incidents, we'll not really go into too much detail about, but really just what he goes for the rest of the season, Jarl. Just try and get back on that top step of the podium, because we know you can. We know you're capable enough.
Yeah, sure. Melbourne is never going to be my favorite track because of the fact that the field is so close and everyone's going to be like...
Oh, well, in fact, we can actually bring your team boss into this as well. Andreas Wouters here.
I thought I got moved out.
I know that you were still here. Andreas Wouters as well, team principal of, well, now Edge Esports. Welcome to the group, Andreas. And, well, just give us your thoughts on that race that's just gone by.
Way too exciting. I think people in the stream also said that everybody was on the edge of their seats for the entirety of it. The start was a bit messy. Petter, of course, got caught into that, which wasn't ideal, but things like that happen. But I think a lot of teams showed today that there's a lot of pace in the field and that it will be super close throughout the entire year. I think at some point there were 10 different teams in the top 10, so it's crazy.
Yeah, it's been a crazy, crazy race, this. And, well, obviously rebranding to Edge Esports for this season as well. Obviously shifting into a focus to more serious competition. Goals for the season will be, I think, top 4, top 5s this season, surely.
Wait, can you repeat? Sorry.
Goals for the season. Do you think you can crack the top 5 in the constructors?
Yes, let's aim a bit higher than that one.
Well, of course, there's prizes there, isn't there?
Yeah, it must be quite satisfying, I have to say, Andreas, when you think back to last year. Right from the off, there was one team that had the edge. This year, we looked at the first race, and you're in third position when there are 8 different teams in the top 8 positions. I mean, that must be a real nail-biting challenge for the rest of the season, and it makes the fight for the title, I guess, even that more motivating.
Yeah, I think we can see we have the pace. The guys have been working super hard on this. I'm sure the other teams are doing exactly the same. It was a very hard race, that has to be said. And at such speeds and with so many competition going on the track, of course, everybody is taking it to the very top of their performance. And yeah, let's just keep pushing and see how we do.
Fantastic. Brilliant work, Andreas Wouters, team boss of Edge Esports. Great performance today. Let's grab the man who nearly got a victory in today's battle, so nearly in first place. The strategy that was bold and daring for the ACR Zaxby team, and team boss Mike Pittman is with us. Your man Risto in 4th position, so close, so near, and yet so far. How did that work out from your guys' point of view?
Yeah, it's less than ideal, must be said, but nonetheless, I suppose a 4th place isn't too bad and could have been worse. But there are a load of positives to take from this whole event. We know we've got the pace. We're quite happy we're up there. We can relook at strategy slightly. I'm quite confident Alex would have won that race, to be fair, but no disrespect. Fournier, fantastic drive, and De Woe as well. Brilliant, guys. You would have been right there, but I'm going to give full confidence to my guy there. We knew he would be further up the road than Risto. So, yeah, I feel sorry for him more than anything, but a fantastic event. Absolutely brilliant for everybody involved.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, your 2 drivers, there genuinely was a bit of a disappointment from Alex's view. I mean, in the first 10 laps, it's fair to argue that he did absolutely nothing wrong at all. He was absolutely flawless. Risto, I guess, without the support of a teammate, had to make a bold decision.
Well, Risto's strategy was always going to be that one. Alex wasn't on the same strategy, so that was why we played it that way. We probably should have made a call mid-race to switch, but we stuck with it and it nearly worked. But that's good. It's good knowledge actually for further in the season. Now we know where we can get with it. It's great. You know, don't really like test these things out on race 1, but nonetheless, it was worth doing.
But it's defo game on now, isn't it? more than ever.
Oh yeah. Expect us to do another. We'll see what we can do in the second round. But it's great to see there's going to be, battles up and down the field. Guys that have finished on the podium here, I would never have guessed. So unbelievable, and I'm going to have to do a lot more research on some other guys.
Fantastic. Well, wish you all the best for Shanghai and time.
Thanks, and great work, guys. Absolutely brilliant broadcast.
Right, let's get the man who could have been on the podium today. And how does he always do this, Josh? Every single time we're watching a Super League race, he always seems to wait till the last possible minute to put himself right in the forefront of the action. It's 2-time champion David Fidek. Welcome back, David. We genuinely didn't think at one point we were going to be talking to you today. And, you know, one more lap, you could have been on the podium.
Oh, is this the interview room? I was trying to go to bed. Hello.
You can't get away from us that easily.
Hello.
Hello.
Nice to see you. Listen to you all again. New season. Yeah, I was just moaning that way on Facebook Messenger because my qualifying is so poor, and I like to think I could have won that, to be honest. Because from like the mid part of the race, I was just ringing people in and closing up so easy. Mainly because Risto was on hards, maybe, and others were on softs. But I thought my strategy was best to free stop, always on fresher tires, and paid off. But yeah, the grid position cost me a lot. The exit of turn 1, I got tangled with someone trying to pass him on the outside and tag my rear wheel, or I might have squeezed them. I've got to look back. I'm not blaming anyone yet. But yeah, car was completely ruined after that, and I didn't want to fix the damage with the grid being so close because it would just put me further back, so I drove all race with a broken car. But yeah, looking at the race as a whole, the pace wasn't too bad. Strategy was okay. Just got to work on qualifying a lot more. But yeah, it was a fun race. I'm happy with P5, and like you said, one more lap, could have had a run, but ifs and buts, we'll just save it for the next race and win that one.
I tell you what, it's astonishing the season we're in for now, and how close you were to everybody, considering that your car was basically a rolling wreck from the way you like it. Do you think the title is very much still on, considering what you guys got out of this race? If all goes well in Shanghai, this is still very much game on.
Yeah, definitely. I wouldn't be here else. Yeah, I mean, like I said, the damage from turn 1, and then a few laps later, I was overtaking someone, and they tapped my rear suspension, and it went dark blue, so that was gone as well. Yeah, it was just a mess. But if a messy race and still come away with P5, could have been P3. Really happy with that, considering Australia's kind of my bogey track. So yeah, I just got to look forward now, work on quali. Just want to apologise to Jeffrey I don't want to apologise to Jeffrey actually, because I hit him off turn 1, and then there was a pile up turn 1, and I think I saved him from it, and he won the race. So. You're welcome, Jeff.
I love it when you come in the interview room, David. You always give us. Thank you, mate, and we wish you all the best for Shanghai.
Thanks,
Brilliant
David.
job. Brilliant job.
Guys.
Right, one more. I know we've been banging on forever and a day, but we've had a lot to talk about. So let's get one more man into the room. It's been a difficult start to the season for the Red Bull Street Fighter team, but their man, Flo Gaia, really did work hard, and he wants to talk to us and reflect on what was a short-lived race, really. Flo, unfortunate, considering that the race really kind of tumbled apart in qualifying. You never really got the chance to get a good lap in.
Yeah, hey man. Yeah, you're pretty right on that. I had a bit of hardware issues. I never really got around doing a clean lap in qualifying. I think pace was there for top 5, certainly. But yeah, I didn't want the back of the grid for China, so I thought, why not then bite into the sour apple and start last year. But yeah, unfortunately, a bit of a mess into turn 1. Sven de Vries clipped my rear, and I speared actually into my teammate, so it didn't really work out the way we planned. But yeah, then the car really was damaged quite badly and was like 2 seconds or at least 1.5 a lap off my pace. Despite the massive grip we had on track. Like I tested with quite a lot less and the car fared much better. But yeah,
I can understand how frustrating it is, especially when you look at the pace of your one lap in qualifying, you were within a second. So let's say you had a second lap or a third lap, this race could have been very, very different. But from your point of view, you still have a car, you still have a setup, you still have the motivation to be at the front. We may not see you where you were for the rest of the season.
I can't really promise I won't be at the back again, because I don't know what's going to happen in 2 weeks. But the motivation is definitely there to get back to the front where I was last year. And I think I'm pretty confident I would have been there today. But we gotta take it as it is right now and deal with it and do the best we can to bounce back. And I know the guys in the team, we work really hard. And I'm sure in 2 weeks we're going to see something different from our team.
Sounds interesting
I
to me.
believe in you, Flo.
Yep. We're looking forward to seeing that when the Red Bull Street Fighter comes out to battle. It'd be great to see it. We'll see you in 2 weeks' time, Flo. Thanks very much for talking to us.
Thanks, guys.